Welcome back to this next match in the 10th Alliance tournament. We have Hun Reloaded, a previous Alliance winner, and Perihelion Alliance, who has done very well in the last couple of years. This is going to be another great fight we have for you, and very exciting setups as well. Hun Reloaded has brought 2 Vargers and 4 Hawks. I really like this setup.
It's actually 3 Hawks, but the Perihelion setup is 2 Proteuses, 1 Aneros, and 3 Incursus. What's really interesting is the Vargar placement here on this field. You have that 1 Vargar in the middle of their entire fleet.
So the real question is if that Vargar is bait or if it came in by mistake. But actually, now the match has started, that Vargar is not the primary. We have damage coming towards these Hawks right away from the Perihelion team. We're seeing smart bombs from one of the Vargars, trying to knock off the EC drones on him. That's going to be very effective. ECM drones go down really quick. And the Vargars are heading after the Aneros for Perihelion. Honestly,
you're seeing the Hawk take much damage at the moment, but that Aneros is almost in about 40% armor, and the Incursus is in half armor. But then you see the spike on the Hawk itself.
Yeah, chasing those Hawks down is an interesting decision for Perihelion. It means that they have to go across the field after a very fast target, but those targets are also going to be a lot easier than those Vargars, who are very likely going to be using that new module again, the Ancillary Shield Booster. You're going to hear that word a lot, especially in these prelim matches. And one of the Hawks has gone down now already, and that Aneros, though, is...
It's an interesting decision to abandon their Aneros, which is almost definitely, it's still only doing 800 meters a second, 900 meters a second, so it's most likely afterburner fit, so it's not going to be able to get away from these Vargars, especially with these news you're seeing from them.
Yeah, Vargars are an excellent ship for the tournament. I really like them. They're one of those ships that hasn't been used much in the past. There's been a couple teams that have combined them to decent effect, usually combined with other Marauders. They're very vulnerable to ECM, but they've got a bonus to shield boost amount, which is going to help you with those new shield boosters, and they've got a lot of utility highs, things you can use for, say, the newts and the smart bombs that we've seen from them already to good effect this match so far. And that Aneros is dropping quite quickly.
Yeah, once this Aneros is down, it's going to be definitely hard to keep those Proteuses up once these Vargars get a hold of them with those newts. The blasters are a little bit cap heavy compared to, let's say, autocannons.
Yeah.
So
we are seeing another Hawk down for Hun Reloaded. Those Hawks are also great ships. All of the assault frigates have been buffed very significantly since the last Alliance tournament. So you're going to see a lot of use of them this year. They're only 4 points. They're great value for the points. But with these Hawks down, I think those Vargars are still going to be able to do fine against the remaining ships on the Perihelion team, considering the Perihelion won't have an Aneros anymore because it's dead now.
Yep. As soon as that Aneros dies, you see damage just come straight onto that Proteus, volleyed straight through shields, as well as the Incursuses start taking a lot more.
Yeah, and these Vargars are going to be able to hit from extremely long ranges thanks to the fall-off bonus they've got. So they can really just start smacking damage across the field. We're already seeing them right on top of the primary Proteus of Ice Gorilla. And he's taking a lot of damage fast. Without the Aneros, I don't think he's going to be able to survive too long.
The last Hawk just died for the Hun Reloaded team, but it's definitely going to... It's going to come down to these Vargars, which will most likely be ancillary shield boosted.
Yep, we haven't actually seen them come under attack yet, so we haven't had confirmation. We'll see once, but assuming that Hun Reloaded or know what they're doing, which we can assume since this is a team that has won the tournament before and that has made it to the final days many times before, that these ships are going to be ancillary shield boosted and are going to be able to tank a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's half shield now on that first Vargar. I'm not seeing any repping going on. There's one boost. So.
And they're nice big boosts too, so it'll be able to hold on fine. This Vargar will be able to tank until it runs out of cap boosters on this booster. So it's only a matter of time. They don't have a cap transfer going, so they can't perma-tank these boosters. It'll never survive reloading it. It's one of those things where Perihelion would need to survive long enough to just run out the cap boosters, grind out the HP, but they're not going to do it because they just lost a Proteus.
Yeah, with that Proteus down, that's a lot of DPS. I don't think they're going to be able to break these Vargar tanks.
I will note that use of Incursus is, I think, a great choice for Perihelion. I'm not as big of a fan of the Proteus for the tournament. I think there's some other excellent choices, but the Incursus as a Tech 1 frigate for only 2 points does a lot of damage. It's the most damage you can get out of 2 points. So having a bunch of them together, all those Proteuses and Incursus, if they had picked on one of the Vargars that was at 0 right away, it's possible they might have made a break through the tank, but now that they've lost some ships, they're not going to be able to break any of the tanks on these Vargars.
Well, I definitely think it all came down to that call to go after those Hawks and leaving their logistics behind just to get eaten up by those two Vargers. They don't have the reps anymore. I think with the logistics support on the Proteuses, I don't think the Vargers could have broken the tanks of the Proteus itself, just because they are known for having that huge EHP on the armor.
Yeah, Proteuses do tank very, very well. They might have been able to just pick off the Incursus and then slowly take them down. But yes, that if the Aneris had stayed alive longer, it would have helped a lot. I'm not sure. It's one of those choices that is easy to say was wrong in hindsight, but I'm not sure they would have won it if they'd attacked the Vargers too. If they'd attacked the Vargers, we might have said, oh, look at those foolish Perihelion pilots shooting at a ship that has a ridiculously strong tank. But either way, this setup just wasn't good enough to take Hun Reloaded. And that's going to be my second incorrect prediction of this tournament. I'm very disappointed in you, Perihelion. Why have you failed me?
I believe that puts me one up there, Ryby. I did vote for Hun Reloaded in this match.
Yes, you are ahead of me at this point. That being said, Perihelion will have killed all 4 of those Hawks. That's a decent amount of points to come out of a loss with, and that's the kind of thing that if they come with a very convincing full victory next round, they could easily go forward into the knockouts, and I would love to see them continue because they are a team that has done really good work in the past.
Yep, it's a great use of Marauders for the first time in this tournament. Sure, we'll see after this match. I'm sure we'll see a ton of them tomorrow or the next weekend. It's really strong setup with the new modules, and it's really fun.
So now we're seeing these Incursuses running away, just trying to survive, but they're not going to be able to do it. The fall-off bonus on the Vargers means that they can just pick off Incursuses from halfway across the field.
Yeah, I believe they have a bonus similar to the Machariel.
Similar. I'm not sure it's quite as big, but yeah, they've got the shield boost bonus and the bonus to DP damage and fall-off for autocannons. Or all projectiles. And there goes that last Incursus, and there's a very strong victory for Hun Reloaded. Hun comes out of the match. Well, actually, that last Incursus went out of the field and was taken down for a boundary violation.
It seems to be sure he's giving them hearts in local. After
He
pressing
really
his skill button.
If you give him a chance to kill your ship, he will thank you. So we get 16 points for Perihelion. Possibly they could still be in a position where they can move forward if they do very well next week. But a full 62 for Hun Reloaded. Very strong performance with a very strong setup. And we are likely going to be seeing them in the final rounds as long as they bring out a decent performance tomorrow or next weekend. Our next match is going to be Babylon 5 ... versus Nully Secunda. So stay tuned for that. That promises to be a good fight. The so-called leaders, of the Delve defense until AAA came in, versus a alliance that we have ridiculed a lot for its dots, but that does have some decent tournament experience now. So we'll see how it goes.